News. The news headlines in association with tonight on Lookup News.
I, Mohammed Ibrahim, having been appointed as the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Constitution and the President of Kenya during my service in the Directorate of Criminal Investigations.
Amin Mohammed is sworn in as the new DCI Director to replace Kinoti.
Hao mandugu zangu venye walikuja wakachukuliwa kwa nyumba. Nimewafuata, nimeenda mochari, nimeenda police station zote kuwatafuta na sijawahi saidika.
Nakuru family in distress following the mysterious abduction of two brothers.
And tell us whether that money or proceeds of crime, whether that money came from NYS and what you are being paid for.
Ruto's cabinet vetting enters day 3. Questions get tougher.
Down the house. Tukatoka nje. Kutoka nje kidogo wakaanza kurusha mawe na mmoja akarusha jiwe mpaka gari yetu moja haina windscreen.
And MCAs in Meru walk out of Governor Mwangaza.
Yippee! Kamata ploti na 349K. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the Cedar Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optivent's plot of land, you get 10K cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
The Office of the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, DCI, has a new boss. Amin Mohammed Ibrahim has been sworn in by the Chief Justice, Martha Koome, just 4 days after his appointment to the office by President William Ruto. Ibrahim takes over from his predecessor, George Kinoti, and he has promised to uphold the rule of law and build a strong partnership of all security agencies to deliver on his mandate. And as our reporter Henry Tende now files, Ibrahim has a huge task of restoring public confidence in the directorate that has lately been tainted by serious allegations of violations of human rights.
The Office of the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, DCI, has a new boss. Amin Mohammed Ibrahim has on Wednesday been sworn in by Chief Justice Martha Koome following his formal appointment by the head of state, President William Ruto.
I, Amin Mohammed Ibrahim, having been appointed as the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Constitution.
Amin Mohammed, who takes over from George Kinoti, has promised far-reaching reforms in the directorate. Key on his agenda is to bring the directorate close to the people. In this respect, the new boss says he will endeavor to protect the rights of Kenyans as he secures the nation.
We shall tackle the contemporary challenges that we face as a country that include terrorism, narcotics, human trafficking, cybercrime, corruption, and money laundering to the extent that our mandate allows.
Ibrahim enjoys extensive knowledge in criminal law and security matters stemming from years of experience in the security docket. He has thanked President William Ruto for his appointment and reiterated he will make DCI a professional body that brings together all security agencies to enhance service delivery.
Fellow Kenyans, I want to state from the outset that I will endeavor to lead the DCI in the most professional manner and adhere to the supreme law of the land, the Constitution of Kenya. We shall also endeavor to respect human rights while being firm and fair as we stick to the mandate given to the Directorate.
The National Police Service, led by Chair Eliud Kinuthia, has assured Ibrahim and his officers of a conducive working environment to improve service delivery.
Deal with the job before you. Take care of the Kenyans. Take care of the work before you. The Commission will take care of you and your officers. So don't bother about that.
I want to inform the public that there's new sheriff in town and their cases will be heard.
Chief Justice Martha Koome has no doubt that Ibrahim is qualified to lead the DCI Directorate and has urged him to operate within the spectrum of the Constitution and respect fundamental rights of Kenyans.
We in the criminal justice system rely on the investigations that are carried out. And without investigations, we will never succeed. I have no doubt that in the performance of your duties, you will continuously observe the rule of law and you function within that remit of the law.
It is now official. Amin Ibrahim is the new Director of Criminal Investigation in the country. As he takes over office, his work is well cut out to ensure there is peace and security in the nation. Henry Tende, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza was today heckled and denied entry at the Assembly chambers by members of county accused of sidelining them in key decisions, and they vowed not to be addressed by the county chief until their demands are met.
It all began after Governor Kawira Mwangaza's motorcade was pelted with stones while making her way into the assembly, forcing a contingent of police officers to pitch tent outside the chambers. However, things took a different twist after members of the county assembly stood and walked out immediately. Governor Kawira Mwangaza stood to address the assembly, leaving no one behind, thus forcing the House Speaker Hayu Bundi to halt proceedings for lack of quorum.
All our members, this assembly stands adjourned Article 15 of...
Commotion started after Governor Mwangaza was heckled by members of the county assembly who declined to be addressed by her, citing being sidelined in decision-making of key policies in the county as their key concern. Police were forced to lob tear gas to disperse the crowd after Governor Kawira Mwangaza supporters clashed with the members of the county assembly outside the county chambers. Governor Mwangaza, who addressed the media after the chaos, castigated the members of county assembly for causing commotion while accusing them of wanting bribes in order to vet the chief executive members nominated to the executive.
Serikali ya mama iko imara. Naomba county assembly wafanye kazi yao kama wajumbe, wapitishe mawaziri wetu. Wakimaliza kupitisha mawaziri, wapitishe budget tuweze kusonga mbele. Minus budget, hakuna kazi itaendelea. Minus mawaziri, hakuna kazi itaendelea. Na hiyo kasumba ya ati governor wapatie nyinyi milioni 5 ndio mpitisha mawaziri, hiyo haiko na sitakubali. Tuko na habari ya kwamba wanatumika vibaya kisiasa na senior politicians ambao sitataja kwa majina, wanajijua.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Five more cabinet secretary nominees have been vetted on the third day of the process. The nominee for Roads and Transport, Kipchumba Murkomen, reckons that he will improve the transport sector through promoting the use of technology to enhance service delivery.
It was a turn for CS nominee for Roads and Transport Kipchumba Murkomen, Tourism CS nominee Penina Malonza, Soipan Toyo of Environment and Penina Wafula CS nominee of Health to appear before the appointment committee for vetting.
Do hereby swear to testify on all matters in question.
It is during the occasion that Kipchumba Murkomen stated that he will boost the performance at the Ministry of Roads by encouraging the use of technology.
Sometimes they have been facing challenges, and as a result of that technology being used, Mr. Speaker, sometimes even the challenge is about internet availability. And Mr. Speaker, we will work with the relevant Ministry of Finance and the Kenya Revenue Authority to ensure that they are able to put in place modern technology that can expedite the process of clearing of goods.
It was a move that Murkomen stated that will see the reduction of number of police officers on the roads. Murkomen defended the move by government to tax road users in different highways across the country, such as Nairobi Expressway.
We should be able to take our roads, and let me speak now to all of them so that no one will need to answer the other places. We should be able to identify our high-density roads and then put in place a tolling policy with a fee that is charged that is commensurate, Mr. Speaker, to the saving that the motorist will get. Now, if you say the road from Mombasa to Nairobi to Malaba, I propose that we dual the road, we attract investors, and of first priority should be local investors.
The Road and Transport CS stated that he will publicize the standard gauge railway SGR contract that has been kept secret by the state. Murkomen also maintained that under his leadership, the Transport Ministry will take development to all parts of the country. The CS nominees asked the committee to consider their approvals as they pledge to be responsible to their respective ministries.
I'm looking forward to good working relations with the House, the National Assembly, to make sure that we push through some of the immediate legislative and policy issues that we require to actualize our plans.
15 cabinet nominees have so far been vetted by the appointment committee of the National Assembly, and what they are waiting for is their results. For the rest, the vetting process will commence on Friday. Reporting for Lookuptv from the Parliament building, my name is Shadrach Kareria.
Electric vehicle manufacturer Rome has unveiled its first mass transit electric bus targeting urban areas in Kenya. The bus, which comes with a 77 passenger seating capacity, can cover 360 kilometers before recharging.
Buses are targeting public transport providers, private sectors, and even government institutions, which are believed to be providing environmentally sustainable solution that is cheaper compared to fuel-run buses. The Kenya Power and Lightning Company KPLC Managing Director Geoffrey Muli said that the firm is capable of supporting Kenyans' e-mobility and ecosystem.
Secondly, the government has made a commitment to achieve carbon neutral status by 2050. The transport sector contributes more than 13% of carbon emissions, and the introduction of e-vehicles would therefore play a big role in achieving that aspiration of the Kenyan government.
Deployment of business will first be done within Nairobi metropolitan area.
And what is also dangerous is some of the pollution that we don't see. The very small particles that we don't see, they're harmful to health, they're harmful to the environment. And that's what we've been trying to tackle through cleaner transport options.
With the bus deployment, several charging points will be installed for Omnibus, already existing range of products to make the operation easier. Also, Make Transit's officials said that the company will put up its own charging infrastructure to support the buses.
Now, the point here is that emissions don't know borders. So as long as somebody emits, we all suffer. So we need to collaborate across borders.
It is clear that when it comes to e-mobility, Kenya means business. It is therefore no wonder that local and international investors are putting their money in this market. Banks are also setting up special lines, credit lines to support the sector, which in itself is an endorsement of the promise held by the e-mobility business.
It is one of its own kind. Now, Kenyans are used to buses that are using fuel, unlike this one that is set to use electrical power to navigate through the country. Kariuki Nduati, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
The Kenya Union of Clinical Officers is seriously castigating the Ministry of Health for what they have described as negligence in preparedness for a possibility of an Ebola outbreak in the country and the protection of health workers. This is after several cases have been reported in neighboring country Uganda, and they fear the disease spreading in the country.
Districts in Uganda reported cases of Ebola. The Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, KUSO, has said the Ministry of Health has not made preparations to prevent the possibility of the disease spreading in the country.
The phase we are in is prevention. Prevention from importation, because we don't have Ebola in Kenya as of now. But we are vulnerable owing to the fact that we interact with the country where that disease now, we are having an outbreak.
According to the national chairman of KUSO, Peterson Washira, health workers are at a risk of contracting Ebola since there are no strategies prepared by the government to protect health workers. Washira has said, considering the close proximity of Kenya and Uganda and the porous borders, it is very easy for the disease to spread in the country.
We know the spread, and most of the times starts from the hospital. When that one case presents to a healthcare worker who is infected, and before you can know that they're infected, then they infect the other health workers, they take back to their families, and that is how it actually spreads. And that is why we are saying, on the side of the spread through the health workers and through the community, we are actually not doing anything as of now.
Secretary General of KUSO George Jibore has said their survey in 10 counties has concluded that health workers in these counties are not yet protected from the possibility of being infected by the Ebola disease, and has urged the county governments to also put strategies to prevent the disease from spreading.
That healthcare workers have not been sensitized on infection prevention control measures, case management, and sample management. 2, that health workers manning triage and consultation rooms are not provided with the requisite PPEs. That communities in the above mentioned counties have not been sensitized on how to identify any Ebola suspect cases.
This is after the case that had been reported on September in Kakamega County, where one person was suspected to have contracted the disease after traveling from Uganda. Before it was later discovered he was not suffering from Ebola, and the Ministry of Health announced 20 high-risk counties. Edwin John Mukora, Lookuptv.
You're watching the news on Lookuptv. Going into a short break now. We'll come back with more.
For all your football, F1, and World Cup kits, Carrington Sportswear Hub is your plug for quality, sporty merchandise. Call us on 0703 484 481.
Born a man, the society bestows tough responsibilities upon you.
Lazima uwe mtu wa bidii, ukija kuoa lazima uwe ni provider.
If you're not able to provide, that's a challenge. It takes a toll on a man.
It takes someone who is strong enough to face it.
This is Born a Man.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
The chair of the National Heroes Council, Aidan Wachu, has indicated that 230 Kenyans from different schedules are set to be feted by President William Ruto in tomorrow's celebrations of Mashujaa Day, which are now all set and ready at the Uhuru Gardens.
With less than 24 hours to go until the country marks Mashujaa Day, preparations are now complete at the famous Uhuru Gardens in Nairobi, where President William Ruto is expected to lead the country in his first national celebrations as head of state. As all is set, National Heroes Council chairperson Aidan Wachu, flanked by his deputy Bernice Gisheru and other board members, has indicated that as per the Heroes Act enacted in 2014, at least 230 Kenyans from across the 47 counties are set to be feted as national heroes by President William Ruto.
In that regard, we also mark this year's Mashujaa Day. The council has invited 230 heroes this year's celebrations as a way of appreciating them and recognizing their efforts in telling our national history.
Wachu also urged county governments and members of the fourth estate to help in identifying Kenyans doing extraordinary activities from different parts of the country, adding that it is the responsibility of the government to recognize citizens doing exemplary work.
The council is happy that we are able to celebrate the youngest heroes such as Angela Okutoi, Sylvia Cheptunot, and Mary Mora, among others who have put their country on the spotlight through their achievements.
Tennis sensation Angela Okutoi and athlete Mary Mora are among Kenyans picked from 14 different schedules, top among them sports and culture, environmental conservation and entrepreneurship, and are all set to be feted in tomorrow's celebrations. Vice Chairperson Bernice Gisheru on her part insisted that the purpose of recognizing such Kenyans is to inspire key values to the future generations.
We're also excited that we can honor the youth, and it's really our desire that through the Heroes Council we will bring back to our nation the values that are contained in our constitution, values of integrity, values of hard work, that people will feel they would be recognized for working hard, for having integrity, and for serving our nation.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Demolition of houses, presence of thugs, contest of property. This is what happened to 6 families in Matungulu, Machakos. Their homes were demolished by people who are only identified as thugs. Let's find out if the process and the motive was justified.
Anger, shock and disbelief filled the faces of locals in Koma area, Matungulu, Machakos County, after a gang of thieves attacked them and demolished their houses at midnight.
Jana tulivamiwa na watu wengi sana, genge ya wanaume. Sasa wakuja wakabomoa nyumba. Wenye walibomoa nyumba, sisi tukimbia tukawaacha.
The armed gang of at least 30 men threatened and evicted 6 families from their homes before demolishing their houses.
Bibi yangu nikakimbia. Sasa bibi yangu yeye akaachwa. Akaambiwa wewe una shida. Unataka kichwa ya bwanako.
Despite the thieves claiming that the piece of land that houses more than 6 families is theirs, thieves added another salt to the already existing wound by stealing properties from the distraught families.
Walikuwa wanasema tutawaua. Shamba ni yao. Na shamba haiguzwa. Sasa sisi tukatoroka tukaenda.
The victims of this heinous attack are now requesting the county government to intervene and more justice to prevail as they have suffered huge losses. Sadly, the families are now homeless.
Ile tulishuhudia na ile tumeona ni kutumia nguvu na kuporomoka kwa sheria ya nchi yetu. Kwa ajili hakuna mtu aliye na haki ya kutendea wengine kinyama kama hiki.
The life threats from the gang instill fear in these victims who ended up escaping to unknown places for safety. Mudeundalana, Lookuptv.
President William Ruto today made a pledge that the government will create a conducive environment that will enable manufacturing industry to flourish in the country. He was speaking at the Kenya Manufacturing 20 by 30 initiative meeting that was held at the Serena Hotel here in Nairobi.
The head of state has promised to create an enabling business environment for manufacturers in the country for ballooning of businesses in line with the Kenya Kwanza manifesto.
I promise you, good people, that we will also make our tax regime predictable. I agree with you. I agree with you. Investments in manufacturing are long-term investments. You need a predictable tax regime so that you can know how your investments are going to look like. I agree with our good brother who said we need to reform our income tax, our income tax law, so that again we make it up to date. There are too many patches of it. Nobody knows how it looked like in the first place.
Ruto challenged entrepreneurs in the sector to come up with innovative manufacturing ideas that will enable Kenyans, especially farmers, to add value to their products and increase income from exports.
Farmers are working so hard with close to 30 million units of livestock. They have 3 million hides and skins every year. Is it being eaten by dogs? It's rotting. It's being buried in some places. When I went around Kenya with our economic fora, this was the issue everywhere. Mandera, Wachia, Tana River, the whole of that space, Kajiado. Farmers were asking us, we are livestock keepers were asking us, what are we going to do with our skin? Who is this group of people standing between us and the value that we can get from our skins and hides? You people.
He added that the manufacturing industry has great potential to create job opportunities for youth in Kenya if the opportunities they have are well utilized. Priskanjari, Lookuptv.
A family in Nakuru is still agonizing the disappearance of their kin. It's been 8 months now, and as far as they know, the brothers were abducted by those who they thought to be 2 police officers. The last they saw of them, they were bundled into a motor vehicle and have not been seen since.
Alfred Omboto, 35, and Vincent Motari, 26, are said to have been bungled into a vehicle in Kiundu area by men believed to be police officers on March 10th and have not been seen to date.
Nimekuwa nikifuatilia hao mandugu zangu venye walikuja wakachukuliwa kwa nyumba. Nimewafuata, nimeenda mochari, nimeenda police station zote kuwatafuta na sijawahi saidika. Nimeenda mpaka kwa mkubwa wa CID region mwenyewe. Nikaambiwa nikapewa afisa mwenye alikuwa anachunguza. Sasa huyo afisa venye tumeendelea na yeye anaendelea kuchunguza, imefika mahali mpaka hataki kuniona kwa hiyo ofisi. Nikienda hapo namuuliza umefikisha wapi? Ananiambia kesi mimi naendelea kuchunguza, faili inafungwa baada ya miaka 7.
Human rights activists have come out to strongly condemn the situation while calling on the government to get to the root of the matter.
The PLWG demands the following. Disbanding the special unit is not enough. Members of the SSU must be investigated and prosecuted for their individual and command roles in extortion, abduction, kidnapping, torture, extrajudicial execution, and forced disappearance, which are serious crimes.
Elsewhere, West Pokot Governor Simon Kachapin has warned residents and politicians over their interference in county assembly affairs, stating that if they do so, it will bring undesirable effects. The governor urged the assembly and executive to work in harmony in order to succeed in service delivery. Elsewhere, a 68-year-old man by the name of Carlos Okundi caused a scene at the Malindi residence law court after he started shouting at the magistrate Olga Onalo, causing the sitting to be adjourned. The suspect, who is facing charges of 6 counts of obtaining money by false pretense and impersonation, angrily shouted at the magistrate, protesting that he has been held on remand for a year because a witness has failed to show up and testify against him.
I'm telling you this, Kenyans, this is the most useless court in the world. I tell you this, because I've been in remand for 1 year, because of a simple witness from local court here and here. This thing, I tell you Kenyans, will come to an end someday, because I've never seen this. Justice delayed is justice denied. I claim the privileges of a Kenyan of my age at 68 to be given justice. You cannot just bring me to this place, take me remand, bring me to this place, take me remand. I'm not a person of this age.
In other news, university students drawn from different universities marched the streets of Machakos town, where they urged the government to make sure proper infrastructure is in place for the much-needed transition to green energy. The students urged the Kenyan government to adopt the same approach used by the European counterparts who have been decommissioning fossil fuel projects.
University students from different faith-based universities and grassroots level, and they are standing in solidarity with the students who were arrested in Uganda because they were trying to stop their government from speaking against the East African crude oil pipeline project that is in Uganda and Tanzania. When they tried to do that, they were arrested, and so these students are in solidarity on the same.
So what I'm urging the government is to stop the fossil, to stop the people from using the fossil. We need a better land, we need a better country, and I believe that when we will obey and preserve this country, we'll have a wonderful place to stay and to be comfortable in it.
John Omari, Lookuptv.
Unity Homes, under the banner of affordable housing in Kenya, has handed over keys to 64 new homes in Tatu City in Kiambu. Unity East was handed over at a cost of 5.4 billion shillings in investments, and this is on track for completion of a further 640 apartments, and they say they're quickly being bought up.
In support of the government's agenda to build more affordable houses to fight the ever-increasing house deficit, Unity Homes has come up with 10.4 acres property made up of 2, 3 and 4 bedroom apartments. Speaking during the handover ceremony, the executive director of Unity Homes, Jason Housey, has said that Unity East is targeting both investors and homeowners, especially high-quality homes that ensure attractive capital gains and returns for investors.
I think if you look at the concentration of wealth, not even just in Kenya alone, but in the whole of East Africa, wealth is very confined to Nairobi. So we could do a lot of projects in and around the suburbs of Nairobi before we venture out. In terms of what's coming up, as I said, I feel like as a business, we're just getting started. You know, the business has grown actually quicker than we expected, and I think we're still at the very early stages of our evolution as a business, and this is extremely exciting for us. So I'd say stay tuned and watch out for what we have coming up.
On her part, head of sales at Unity Homes, Azmina Taima, said with the successful occupancy rates with their previous developments, they are optimistic that Unity East will also achieve 100% occupancy.
We've got a lot of investors on board who have been tagging along since Eldoret. That was our first project in 2015. They've bought in Eldoret, they came and bought in Unity West, which was the second project, and now they've come along in Unity East, and we are super grateful for them to be coming on board all the time. We've got investors, we've got first-time home buyers, yeah, because of the affordable price. Small families, people who want to come and live here. We've also ventured into the diaspora market. And we have almost like in Unity East development, almost 45% of our clients are the diaspora. So yes, we are very grateful for that.
The units, which are priced between 7.65 million for cash buyers and 8.85 million for investors who choose the flexible 24-month payment plan for mortgage financing. Edwin John Mokora, Look Up Business.